Okay, so we're going to assemble an electric bike kit. It's a hub drive where the motor's in the wheel, and this is how it comes as you just open the box. So obviously this is the rim. You can see the tires here, the rim tape, the inner tube, the cassette. So we'll start taking them out the box and then we'll put them together. So we're going to start by putting the rim tape on the rim. So first, find where your hole is where you'd pump up the tyre for your valve, and then line them up, put that in place, and then just start going round, just putting it over. Then get it in place and try and line it up so it's right in the middle. So next, get the inner tube, take the little cover off, open it up, and just unravel that. It's all bent from where it was packaged. Now we're going to put a tiny little bit of air into the inner tube just to help sort of get its shape, so that way it's easier to put into the tyre. Okay, so we're just going to put a tiny little bit of air in it, not a lot at all. And it just gives it a little bit of shape. We're going to release the air afterwards anyway, just to get it on the rim, but that gives it a little bit of shape. So then put the inner tube in the tyre. Just feed it through. It's a bit hard because the tyre's obviously misshaped what was in the packaging. And we're going to put it on the rim. So line up the valve with the hole for the tyre. Make sure that's in, and it's easier just to screw that on. Make sure you've released any air, if there was any, from the inner tube. It's probably going to be a little bit harder than usual to put the tyre on just because of the shape of it, because it's all funny. Halfway in now, and just try and get the other part of the tyre in. Just keep making sure that you've not pinched the inner tube between the tyre and the rim. Just keep pushing it up just to make sure it's out of the way. That's that, and then just give it a little sort of jiggle just to make sure that the inner tube's not stuck or caught in any place. And once you're happy with that, then come back to the valve, connect your pump, and then start pumping. Now that we've got the tyre inflated and everything, we're going to move on to the cassette. So just going to open that. So you don't have to use this one, this is the one that they've supplied, but if you've got another one that you would rather use, you can obviously use that. So we're going to take the wheel and then just pull this cap off, undo the bolt, and just pull the washers off, and get your cassette and just start screwing it on. You've got the thread here, and obviously there's a thread on the other side. It's just going to go on to make sure you don't cross thread it, and then it will just easily spin on. Now you can use a tool to tighten them, but when you pedal anyway, the force on the chain is going to be pulling it tighter anyway, so you don't have to tighten it too much if you don't want to. I'm just going to put the washers and the bolt back on just for now, just so we don't lose them while we're doing the rest of the bits, and just slide this cap back on. So the wheel and the whole wheel assembly is all done and ready now. Obviously you've got the wires here that we're going to plug into the controller, and we're going to have to put the wheel on the bike as well. Also, I should point out that it does come with a booklet of instructions, and it also, the rim has mounting bolts for if you do have a disc brake, then you can put your disc onto it. It doesn't come with a disc though. So the kit also comes with a little bag so you can put the controller in, and then there's a box with other parts in it. So in here we've got the controller, we've got the replacement grips because obviously it's going to be shorter. We've also got the brake levers which have the electrical disconnect, so when you're going, if you've got the accelerator on and you decide to press the brakes, it will cut the power to the motor, so that way it's safer. Then you've obviously got the thumb throttle. Then you've got the pedal assist wire and bracket. And then you've got some tubing just to sort of hide the wires, and some cable ties. So afterwards, replace your original wheel with the new wheel with the motor in it. Then you get these little caps, just put that at the end of the shaft, and then this one has it on the wire. It's got a little cutout for the wire. Just cover that like that. Then route the wire to go up, and we're gonna put it further up so that way it goes in line, because we're gonna connect it to the controller. But the wires, which I just taped them in position temporarily, although I ended up being happy with them being taped up, so I taped these two together so they wouldn't separate. One's for the throttle and the other's for the brake cut off for the power. Then I just taped them up. They come up here and then into a battery bag where I've got the battery and the controller, and then on the other side, coming out of the battery bag, it goes down to the motor. That's what the shaft looks like coming out of the hub. Obviously you just put them in, and then this can also help it stay stable so it doesn't spin when you accelerate. And then these just cover, and you've got one for each side. Get the new brake wire and just wire up the brake like a normal brake. Slide it on to the handlebar, and we'll line it up in the right place in a moment. And then obviously you're going to have the wire that it comes with that we're going to connect to the controller. Also get the throttle and just put that on too. We'll tighten that up in a minute, and then it's got the wire that's going to connect to the controller as well, so we'll go and connect them now. We're going to start by connecting the brake cut-off wire. So there's two of these, because obviously you're going to have one for the front, one for the rear. That's these ones with the black and red wire, and just connect them up. Then we're going to take the the wire for the throttle. I'm going to connect that to this one over here. Then we've got this wire which is for the speed limiter, which we'll just leave that like that on for a moment, so that's the speed limiter on. And then we're going to connect the motor now. So obviously you've got that big connector, that's for that. And then we're going to take the other wires and start connecting them. So it's just going to be colour with the right colour, if that makes sense. So obviously yellow is going to be with the yellow. Should get a little click like that. Then we're going to do the green with the green. We're going to get the blue with the blue. And then they've got these little waterproof covers that we're just going to put on just to give it a little bit of extra protection. In fact, I don't even think they're waterproof. I think it's just to stop the wires from touching the other connectors. So now you've got everything connected apart from the battery, that are these two. Then you've got obviously two connectors for the brake wires, which I've only got one connected at the moment. That's for if you want to limit the power. At the moment they're connected, so it's limited. If I disconnect that, then the power will be de-restricted to its natural speed. This one is for the pedal assist, and that's if you want to connect a headlight. So once you're happy with the position that these are in, you can tighten them up. So just put it to whatever is comfortable for you to operate. Same with the brake lever, that's where it's comfortable for me. So to tighten them up, you've got this little screw there. That is a 2.5mm Allen key socket, and you just tighten that up to where you're comfortable with. And I'll just put that up to hold something while I was putting it together. This screw here is for the brake lever, and that is a 5mm Allen key. So the kit comes with this little bag where you can fit the controller into it, and then you just tuck all the wires in, and then you have a couple of wires just poking out here which would connect it up basically. I'm going to put that in now. Got all the wiring coming up here, and then it comes up to here, and then I've got it so it goes into the bag over here. And then once you come up from the bag, so I've got the battery here, but the battery, I've got a lead acid battery. I made it myself. I can do another video if anyone wants to see that. So the battery is just here, and the controller's in here. So I've put the controller in this bag, and the wires just connect how I showed you before. And then obviously you've got the positive and negative lead from the battery, and that just connects onto the controller as well. And then I've just packed it so they all go in this bag, because I didn't want it to be too obvious that there was a battery pack and controller all over the bike. So to turn the bike on, once everything's connected, press the red button, and you can see that you've got all 3 bars. And now if I went to accelerate, it would start to push forward. If I press the brake and then I try to accelerate, nothing will happen because it's got the power cut off. And then just press that again to turn it off.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you want more.